Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hometown Heroes Podcast with your host, Thomas Don. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Boom Herron. Thank you for coming on to the show today.
Thanks for having me, Thomas, man. I like what you're doing, man, with the podcast. I've been a part of a podcast myself, man, and it's a good thing to do, especially to get some information out to people, around the area, especially having guys like myself come back on, kind of tell what we got going on and just where we're at in life now.
Exactly. So if you'd like to talk a little bit about your career.
So obviously, for the people that don't know, I went to Warren G. Harding. I graduated, my last year was 2007. It's funny because sometimes I forget what year I graduated. It's so long ago it seemed like, but it was 2007. Then I went to Ohio State and played at Ohio State for 4 years. I ended up getting drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals in 2012. I played 5 years in the NFL, 1 year with the Cincinnati Bengals, 3 years with the Colts, 1 year with the Buffalo Bills. Once I got done playing, I became an entrepreneur. I got into a lot of different things. I got into car hauling. I investigated. I put some money into a couple restaurants. I'm looking into getting into real estate now. Been doing a podcast with Benny Wells. So it's been good, man. Life after football has, it wasn't an easy transition, but it's been going smoother for me. I would say, just because I've always had a good team around me, a great family around me. And just learning a lot from, going to Ohio State, learning a lot from playing in the NFL. You learn a lot about the business side. So I think all those things kind of prepared me for life after. That's where we at now.
Right. So you talk about that transition a little bit. What was that really like from, playing football, into real life?
Like I said, man, it wasn't the easiest, but it was something that I was kind of preparing myself for when I knew I was coming towards the end of my, career. I didn't know I was coming to the end because my goal was always I wanted to play 10 years in the NFL, it's kind of rare because, a lot of guys, if you get past, I'll say like this, if you get to your second contract, it's a blessing. A lot of guys don't make it out of their first contract. So that transition was a little tough, but like I said, I had a good team around me that helped me out. I was kind of preparing for it. You kind of never know when it's going to happen, but you got to prepare for it. So, I always had something, during the off season, I was always doing something to better myself, not just physically, but mentally and financially, just learning different things I could do, once I am done playing. So that's why I say it's important to have a good team around you, be around some good people. You don't want to be the big guy in the room. You want to be almost the smallest guy in the room, so you can learn from all the big time guys. So, that was the transition for me.
Yeah. So it's said that 78% of former NFL players have gone bankrupt or under financial stress in just 2 years after retirement. So how important is it to have a good agent and to be able to manage your money, especially since most players leave college and usually don't finish their degree and stuff like that?
Yeah. It's like I said, that's a part of having a good team. Obviously, having a good agent is important. I think it's important to have a good financial advisor or somebody that knows money, because a lot of guys who the high percentage of guys that make it to the NFL, a lot of them come from broken up families, not very good backgrounds, not very good areas. So, you put a guy in this position who's never really had a lot of money or, um, struggle with, finances and things like that. You throw a lot of money in front of his face. I mean, half of the time he gonna go out and enjoy it, but at the same time, you got to understand that you have to invest your money, you have to save your money. And, some guys get caught up, living a life that, that's not supposed to be living, like just spending money, going out partying, having a good time, buying cars, buying houses. But more so, where guys get caught up at are they're taking care of other people, other family members, their families, which is, I mean, it's nice to do something nice for your family, but you can't take care of everybody because you got to take care of yourself. Um, so I think that's where a lot of guys kind of get caught up. But my advice is just find you a good person that's good with finances, that's good with money. Um, Your agent definitely, your agent plays a part. But more important, I think it's more important to have somebody, a financial advisor or someone that you could trust that could help you out. Because when you get all that type of money rolling in, man, you definitely gotta know what you're doing, and you definitely gotta know how to save money because it can go so fast. And the NFL, man, that I use it as a stepping stone. That's not the that's it's not like you hit the lottery because at the end of the day, for me, I say NFL stands for not for long. It's a business, and there's always new guys coming in, ready to take your job. There are injuries that happen, so you just got to be prepared, man. That it can end at any day, because once you get cut, once you get hurt, once you're off that roster, it's so hard to get back on. So you just got to really. That's why you got to really be taking advantage of the situation, make something out of it, use it as a stepping stone. It can open up a lot of different doors for you. So make sure that you're building great relationships with teammates, businesses, whatever it may be. Get back to your community. Give back to your community. Just do things that keep make you strive to be going in the right direction.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about, coming from a poor background or a lot of people that don't have much. So were there any struggles, hardships, or adversity that you and your family had to overcome?
Honestly, man, I was fortunate. I was blessed. I had both my parents in my household. They've been married for I think like 30 plus years. Um, so I was blessed, coming up. Went to a great high school, Warren Harding. Also had an older brother who played football as well. Ended up going to Michigan State. He also played pro. Um, my father is a bishop, a pastor. So we were just kind of raised kind of strict. Had a great background, um, and we just knew how to work hard. And I was not saying that we were perfect because we were far from perfect. We had our issues. I had my times when I wasn't a guy that really liked school, so I struggled with school a little bit. Of course, I mean, I was a kid's gonna be a kid, so I had a couple things that I struggled with, but I overcame those things. I always say, if something bad happens, you should always learn from it, build from it, and then grow from it and make it a better situation. And all the situations that have happened with me, I mean, I think that's what I've done a good job or tried my best to do. Do that when it comes to bad situations, just turn the negative into a positive.
Yeah. So you said a lot of people helped me where I am today, and that you want to see young kids reach their goals and go further than you did. So being from
Mm-hmm.
Warren, Ohio, and playing from Ohio State and in the NFL, many people look up to you, just like a hero
Mm-hmm.
to look up to. What advice
Mm-hmm.
would you give to someone who's trying to play college ball and ultimately hear their name called on draft night?
Um, I mean, you just got to work hard, man. I mean, I think everything is in your mindset, in your mentality. Um, I think whatever you put out there is what you're gonna get back. I mean, if you want to be the number one draft pick, then you got to train like the number one draft pick. You gotta act like the number one draft pick. You gotta treat people like you gotta do things a certain way, man. And I just always been known for hard work. I was told I was too small. I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. But my thing was always to prove people wrong, especially coming from a small town, Warren, Ohio. But we had some of the other greats that came way before me, and we're gonna have greats to come after me. Um, so we kind of know how to work hard, and we know how to get it out the mud, as I always usually say. So for advice, I just tell people, work hard, believe in yourself, try to learn as much as you can. When you're younger, and I know it's a hard time when kids don't like to listen to, people that's trying to tell them something good for themselves, man. Just really try to open your ears and listen and hear what people trying to say, and know the difference between positive and negative. Make the best out of the situation, but at the end of the day, just work as hard as possible. Always know there's someone out there, working harder than you or just as hard as you. So you always got to continue to work hard, and just believe in yourself, and always have a good team, good circle around you. Hang around the right people. At this age, when you get in high school, right from wrong. So if you're going down the wrong road, don't even go down that road. Stay on the positive side of things. And we all make mistakes. Like I said, we all make mistakes. I wasn't perfect. I made some mistakes. If you make a mistake, learn from it, own up to it, and turn it into a positive. There's always ways you can turn negatives into positives, and help yourself and help other people not to make that same mistake.
Right. So in Warren and Youngstowns, for most kids, their backs are already against the wall. And only 6.5% of all high school players play college football. And from there, only 1.2% of college football players play in the NFL. Despite that, Youngstown, Ohio has produced most professional football players of any city on average. With that being said, you and your brother played in the NFL. What was that like?
It was a dream come true. It was a blessing. That's why I say I was thankful to have him in my corner, and I kind of just follow his footsteps. Like I said, he went to Michigan State. I went to Ohio State, so we had our Big Ten battles when Michigan State and Ohio State played against each other, but it was all love. I mean, always, if like I always tell him, if Michigan State, as long as they ain't playing Ohio State, I support them, and he's the same way. But when we play each other, you better believe, let's go Bucks. And he always say, it's always go Spartans. So it's fun though, man. It's fun having an older brother who kind of paved the way for myself and a lot of other, of our family members. I had a couple other family members that played, pro and went to college. So we kind of just it's just like a family thing, man. We just try to work hard and be an example for the community and give back to our community and show these kids that there's a way out of Warren, Youngstown area, Northeast Ohio area, and you could be something. You could actually be whatever it is that you want to be in life. I mean, it's not just about being a football player or basketball player, sports player. I mean, you could be whatever you want to be. Judge, doctors, fireman, whatever it is you want to be. As long as you put your mind to it and you work hard and you do the right thing, you can do whatever it is that you want in life.
Yeah. So I saw that you either had a choice to go to the draft and not play in your bowl game as a junior at Ohio State and then sit 6 games your senior year. With that, what really influenced your decision?
To be honest, my mother. because I was actually going to leave. Um, I was going to actually enter the NFL draft after my junior year because I had just had a good year. I had just rushed for like 1,200 yards, over 16 touchdowns. Mom definitely influenced, everything for me to come back because I was definitely my mind was on, I wanted to make it to the NFL. I had the opportunity, and I was ready. I thought I was ready, but at the time I didn't graduate yet, and that was important for myself and for my family. So I wanted to come back, get my degree. Um, Made some bad decisions to get to that suspension. And like I said, I turned the negative into a positive. I came back, did my suspension, did everything I needed to do. At the end of the day, I graduated. That was the main goal, and I still was able to get drafted, and I was still able to play in the NFL. So at the end of the day, it was a win-win, and I turned a negative into a positive.
Right. And I've watched interviews where you said, it's kind of like you paid your debt almost. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I
yeah,
definitely did
yeah.
that.
And like your connections, and they're more than connections, they're relationships that you build with Ohio State. And now you're able to come back and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. That's what it's all about, man. Like I always tell people, it's great to have connections. People always say, "Man, I got this connect, I got that connect." But do you got a relationship with your connect? Do you, can you call him? Instead of calling the secretary and say, "Can I get a meeting?" Nah, can you call him directly? Build a good relationship with your people, man. Really get connected with good sources and good people.
Right. So, how did you get the nickname Boom?
Oh man. Um, from when I from all right, so there's been a million stories about this. Some people say I fell down the steps when I was a baby. I rolled all the way down the steps and I laughed. So then they start calling me Boom. Then I hear the whole football thing, Little League football. I was always trying to run people over and always, get contact and stuff. Uh, so it came from there. And then my uncle, I got a couple uncles always say it came from Daniel Boom. But that's spelled differently. And then they say I just changed it myself. So I don't know, man. It's a multiple different ways. I'll say I got it from playing football and always trying to run people over and make big collisions.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. But it actually stuck with me, man. From Pee Wee to middle school to high school, college to the pros, and still to now. I mean, a lot of people don't even know what my real name is. So this is funny. For
Yeah.
the people that don't know, my real name is Daniel. So yeah.
Yeah. I just always wondered that, is like, 'cause that's pretty true. People just call you Boom. I was like, and then I looked up, your real name and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So in college and in the NFL, you're seen as just more than an athlete. So, what types of things would you do in college and in the NFL to be more than an athlete?
Man, I was all about the community. So, always going to the hospitals, you know, visiting the people who were sick that just needed like an uplifting, or going to the James Cancer Center, seeing kids who were struggling with cancer, or just anything that I could do to help in the community. If it was, giving back food to people who weren't doing so well, or the homeless, shoe drives, clothes drives, going into different schools, elementary, high schools, speaking, doing football camps. I did my first camp the last year at Harding. That was a big thing that I wanted to do, is a free camp for kids. Last year, I think we had like over 350 kids. And obviously with COVID and everything, I don't think we're gonna be able to do it this year, but that's the thing that we're going to continue to keep doing. And just always reaching out to the kids, and make sure that, I'm here for them. I've been in their shoes. They could talk to me. I'm just like an outgoing person, man. So I'm always, and I have a big heart. So I'm always willing to help other people out or help them just be better.
Yeah. So on your Beanie and Boom podcast, I heard you guys go on like a cruise ship for cancer.
Yeah. So that's with Ohio State. They do a big cruise every year. Last year was my second year. I think they've been doing it for 13 years. They raise like a couple $1 million every year, and it goes to the James Cancer Center for people who are dealing with cancer. It's a great thing, man. We go out there, have a great time. You meet a lot of great people. You meet a lot of survivors. You meet just incredible people. Like I said, it's a thing where it's just like a big family, man. You know, the Buckeye Nation is crazy about the Buckeyes, and Buckeyes are crazy about Buckeye Nation, man. It's like you just have a good time. You build some great relationships, and it's for a great cause. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show today. I appreciate it.
Oh man, thank you, man. Anytime you need me, man, just call me, man. So, and keep on doing this, man. Keep on giving people some positive stuff to hear. And you're 15 years old, about to be 16, man. And just keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you. Best of luck on Beanie and Boom, and hope that keeps it back up again.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You do the same.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Herron, Mr. Daniel Boom Herron, for coming on the show today. I appreciate it. Again, best of luck in beating the Boom. If you want to check that podcast out on Lyman Row, link will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you have an amazing day. Stay safe. Thank you.